Hello, and welcome back to another speed build video. Today we are building a house for Merengue from Animal Crossing. If you don't know, I started this series not too long ago where we're building homes for villagers from Animal Crossing. I think Animal Crossing has had a big boom since the recent update, and it's just been a fun series that a lot of people have become invested in. And we previously did Chai, who is one of my favorite Animal Crossing villagers. Even though I haven't played the game, I would love to play it, but I can't afford to switch to right now. But after posting that video, I asked y'all who you'd like to see next, and Merengue was one that you all voted for. So that is who we're doing today. And if you're not familiar with Merengue, this is what she looks like. She's a rhino, and her birthday is March 19th, which is today, which is absolutely crazy to me and very serendipitous. But her favorite saying is life is a piece of cake, and her catchphrase is shortcake, which is really cute. So she wears a chef's outfit, she has a candy umbrella, lacy parasol, and then whenever you scroll down here, I want to show y'all what the inspo was. So this is her house in the game. She has a cute sofa, a tea table, a tea set, potted ivy, a microwave, a stand mixer, kitchen island, a little portable radio. So just some cute little items that can provide us inspiration for when we go into the build. I do want to point out the mint dot flooring. Just keep that in mind, okay? We do have a little bit of an Easter egg type nod to that in the build itself. So let's just get into the build. I was actually so excited whenever I started this build on stream that I forgot to press record, so I had already gotten the shell a good bit laid out, but we're going into the roofing now. If you remember that I just showed you, her house was like this kind of beigey stone with a red roof, and it had this rounded part for the doorway. I was trying to lean into that a good bit, and then I was working on the roof line a little, which honestly, roofing in this game I think is one of the trickiest things sometimes to do. I was trying to do something cool here with having skylights in on this little wing on the side, which is meant to be the bakery. So if you remember, she has a mixer, she has a lot of things where she wears a chef's outfit. Like, I was picturing her as a baker, and she has a home business. So that's what that little jut is off to the left side of the build right here. And I was thinking it would be cool to have a skylight. It just wasn't working. So I was like, you know what? Let's just put a plain roof on it. But I did the curvy roofs, which are always really cool. If you don't know how to do that, if you press Shift C on PC, it'll open up these two dots. You usually just have this one dot that you can round the roof on, but it'll open up a second one where you can manipulate the top half of the roof line, and then you can also manipulate the second bottom half of it and kind of invert it, so you get this nice curvy thing like that. This is probably the hardest thing and worst thing to talk about like this, but just wanting to let y'all know that you can manipulate roofs in some different cool ways to get some interesting shapes. But I'm just going through trying to figure out the vibes. Whenever I do a build, it's always really difficult to know exactly what I want to do, so it takes me some time to figure out the layout and the style. That's what takes me the longest when I start a new build. Once I have that more concrete, it all kind of starts going like an engine, and then I'm able to pick up the pace and figure out how I want to go with it, maybe lean on certain packs a little bit more. For this build, I used a good bit of cottage living as well as pastel pop kit, which obviously pastel pop shouldn't be too much of a surprise because Merengue has a little strawberry for a nose. So I just think that's a really cute vibe that we had with that. And I think that with this kind of mesh with the stone, I went back and forth a good bit because I was having a beigey color. It wasn't looking very great though because of the foundation being stone. So I went back and lightened it up a good bit. We went with a whiter stone. I know it still kind of clashes with the columns. The columns are this really stark white color, but I just feel like it goes with the vibe a little bit because Merengue has this pink hue with the white chef's outfit, white and red. So pink, white, red were basically the colors for this build and the most part of across the entire build, which, after a while, whenever you see that, it kind of gets to you. Let me tell you, we have a lot of pink and red objects in the game. Obviously, white is for almost everything because it's a neutral color. But it didn't take me too long to get the interior floor plan, and I actually added a guest bedroom downstairs. So we have a bedroom and a bath downstairs, like a half bath, and then we have a full bath upstairs with Merengue's bedroom. So Merengue has a nice little ensuite bathroom situation happening here, which whenever you think about it, it's kind of weird because if you have a guest, they would have to go into your bedroom to go shower. But, it is what it is. It's just for the vibes, okay? That's what I could fit in here pretty well. I didn't want to, do a full bathroom necessarily, even though I guess I could have fit one, but it's all over and done now. Everything's fine. The kitchen, I had to use the cottage living cabinets just because They come in red, and this swatch has the pink curtain with it, so it was perfect to have red and pink. And then I pulled the fridge from the Restoration Workshop kit. I honestly, I feel like I use the appliances more from that kit than anything else. I don't use the tool stuff anywhere hardly. There have been times when I've used it, but I definitely use the fridge more than anything else. Fridge and the coffee maker. I don't use the stove as much because the stove is a little bit thinner and doesn't go flush with the cabinetry. So unless it's on the very end, which is kind of weird to think about, having your stove on the very end of your cabinets, I don't like the look of it. It looks kind of weird to me. So I don't know why they did that, but they did, and we just have to deal with it. But I ended up doing like a really big kitchen because honestly, like having Merengue being a baker, and I wanted the kitchen to be right off of the bakery. So it's kind of cute with how it's laid out because I have a door in the kitchen to go to the bakery, and then the bakery in the back is separated by cabinets. So it's like customers can't get to your house very easily unless they jump the cabinets. So just don't make your customers mad, I guess. I don't know. But I used the cookie rugs in here, and I did pull the Wonderland kit just because it gives more whimsy vibes. So for whenever I'm doing this, I also try to think about the fact that Animal Crossing is a very like cozy, comfy, cutesy game. So whenever I'm going into the Sims and building, I like to pull some of the whimsy energy in, even if it doesn't necessarily match the style of the furniture across the build. I'm not as focused on like everything being a similar style as much as I am like just pulling an overall aesthetic or like an energy into the game that makes it feel like Animal Crossing. Because Animal Crossing, from what I've seen, again, I don't play it, but from what I've watched other players, it has like some whimsy vibes to it with inside the homes and the objects that you can have and things like that, with some like fun shapes, some fun colors. And I just wanted to bring that into this, even though it's mostly red, white, and pink. Honestly, you can mistake this as a Valentine's Day build, which I just did not too long ago. So if you want to catch that, I'll like link that down below if you want to check it out. I did a very pink and red Valentine's Day build. So now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of funny. I've done 2 builds like that now at this point in just a couple of months. I'm working on the minty bedroom. So if you remember the flooring, the mint dot flooring, I wanted a nod to that because we have a rug in The Sims that has like the polka dots, but it's a little too saturated. If it was just a lighter tone of the blue, it would have been perfect to put that rug in here, but it just didn't work. So I was trying to do a flooring that was kind of like a minty color. I didn't like that as much. And then I came across this bed and I was like, you know what, we can make this wallpaper work with this bed. So I have a minty bedroom as a nod to the minty flooring that we have in Animal Crossing. So I hope that comes across in a way. I think people who don't know Animal Crossing are going to look at that and be like, why is this one bedroom this minty vibe and everything else is red, white, and pink for the most part? That's why. But now I'm working on Merengue's bedroom and getting it figured out. The tiger swatch came up because we were talking about barreled, I think it was. And I even put a poll in the chat about asking if we should do a house for barreled, because I feel like barreled is hated on a lot by people who play Animal Crossing. And we had someone wanting to build a house for barreled, so I put it in a poll, and no was the result of that poll. A lot of y'all don't want to do a house for barreled, but I saw the tiger swatch of that and I was like, you know, if we were to do a house for barreled, that would be the time to use that bed. So who knows? Let me know down below. Should I do a house for barreled? Would you all like to see me do a house for barreled? Now, I wanted to like have a pretty cute little bathroom in here. I used the strawberry wallpaper, by the way, of course. It's the main reason I use Pastel Pop Kit a good bit, and this is the only reference, like really the only reference we get to a strawberry in The Sims. We need more strawberry stuff. I never thought I'd say that out loud, and it sounds kind of funny to say it out loud, but we need more strawberry references. That would be excellent. But I'm putting the sleep bathroom kit in here. I think that pinkish color works really well with the color scheme. Now, I will say that the bedroom here has an interesting color swatch, right? Because having a very saturated red with these peachy and pink colors kind of sticks out a good bit, but I wanted to play on that because Merengue has red. So whenever I did Chai's build, I didn't focus really at all on Chai's house and stuff in Animal Crossing like I showed you at the beginning of this stream. I didn't even really think to do that too much. I literally built that house off of Chai's character. The entire vibe of just Chai's character. I did get positive feedback though that I did a pretty good job with some stuff that I put in the house that is actually nods to Chai's home in the game, which is funny how that ended up working out. But now I'm like working on the bakery space. I had to put the cupcake machine. It just felt appropriate. It's like a fun type of machine to have and just like a fun object in general. So I put that. I put like a little countertop oven right here as well just to quickly bake things. And then I did actually do some gameplay. So if you're new here, I have intentions to do gameplay later. Whenever I grow a little bit more on YouTube, I might do a legacy of some sort. But I don't do a lot of gameplay because I primarily build and I love building so much. But I did do gameplay on a stream where I was actually baking a lot of things that made sense to put in here. So I like tried to find strawberry desserts. I had found matcha cupcakes or something like that. We had red velvet, carrot cake, you know, things that fit the vibe of meringue. I have a meringue pie. I did something fun with that because someone redeemed a debug baby on stream whenever I was working on that. So we put the debug baby in the meringue pie, which sounds really ridiculous, but it's like popping out. I'll show y'all. You'll see it whenever I do the tour of the build. I might have a clip of it in here at some point. I put the little microwave from also the Restoration Workshop kit, and that was because in Animal Crossing, Merengue has a microwave. So I was trying to like take some of that stuff literally with the objects that Merengue gets in the game and putting that in her home in The Sims. And then of course I had to use some of the kitchen clutter objects with like the baking cookies and things of that nature just to get across the vibe that Merengue is a baker. Merengue is baking. We have a lot of fun things that she likes to do in her kitchen. So I wanted to have as many nods to that as possible. And everything was red, pink, put some cute clutter objects like the tea mugs. I wanted to like have the little timer for baking, have the oven mitts. I put some recipe books. I don't know. I have so much fun cluttering up kitchens. I think it's one of my favorite parts of the game and just favorite parts of the home in general. Whenever I'm building, kitchens are one of my favorite parts to build. I cannot iterate that enough. I absolutely love cluttering kitchens. I think it's really fun, and in real life for me personally, that's the like room that has the most stuff. Every time I move, and I have moved a lot, I've moved like 15 times in the past 10 years, and it's always the kitchen that takes up so many boxes and so many things because I have a lot of cookware that I like to do. And then I pulled from the Country Kitchen Kit, which is free by the way right now. You should go get it. The marketplace just dropped. And I know a lot of people hate the marketplace. You know, not here to discuss that necessarily, but it is free, so you might as well go get it if you don't have the Country Kitchen Kit. But I put the plates from that kit above the door here. I just didn't like how it was empty because I have uppers on each side of the door, but then over the door, it just felt really blank and plain. So I put the little leaf curtain, and then I also put like one of the upper cabinets from Country Kitchen because it's pink and it has plates in it. It doesn't really make sense to put your plates there, but I just wanted it to fill the space and it worked really well. And then I also ended up putting lights underneath the upper cabinets, and I made them like a little bit older looking, like fluorescent bulbs or something. And that was just a cutesy vibe. And then if you remember that Merengue has like an umbrella, so I put the umbrellas in here for that purpose as well. Again, just trying to tie in as much stuff as I could from the like little information that I had. And then I came across this. This happens all the time when I'm streaming. I'll like find ways to combine objects to create new objects, and I thought that was really cute. I put the Dream Home Decorator lights, those pink ones. Those are like, they're called cupcake lights or something like that because it looks like a cupcake liner, I think is what the reference is to. And it fit over the other light that I had really well. And I thought that the pink worked really well since we already had so much red, but that light didn't have a pink swatch. And I just think it worked really well. And then I brought in the Wonderland kit again, just keeping in mind it's whimsy vibes, Animal Crossing's like fun energy. So I actually used that in here, and I put it in this little nook that's off of the staircase, and it's just like another reading area. So we have this reading area over here that's like a more dedicated space by the bathroom, but then this is just like a quick little, you can sit down right here by the windows, read a book or two, just hang out. But I put the lamp in the corner there raised up, and I think it looked really cute and fun and whimsy, which is the goal here. Again, whimsy, whimsy, whimsy. I'm going to say it probably a million more times in this video. But I put the little hydrangeas there, and then I had the tea. I had to put the teapot. Y'all know I had to put the teapot flowers in here as well. And I ended up taking this television. Now, if I remember correctly, I think this is the TV stand from Tiny Living. And I actually slotted the cabinetry that comes connected to like a cabinet, and I put it clipped into the end table here. I guess it's an accent table, not really an end table. But there are TVs like that. I see, it makes me think of the TVs where people have them built into a dresser or something, and they press a button and it raises out of the dresser. And that was the energy that was giving me. So I was like, I gotta do that. And then the businesses and hobbies lamp came in handy for this build. It's such a cute lamp, and we get pink and red swatches. And we also get this like diamond pattern, which is really cute. So I had to use that in here because it was the perfect shade of pink and it matched the aesthetic everywhere. So I'm sorry if you don't like pink. There's literally pink on pink on pink in this build everywhere, but Merengue is pink, and it just made sense to do that. So I put the little heart end table by this couch over here, and I did use this paranormal couch. It's really saturated red and it has the blue on it, but I felt like the blue worked kind of well with what we end up doing also later with the curtain that we put in the bookcase area. But we have the minty vibes in that one bedroom too, so it's like you get little shades of blue here and there throughout the build. I didn't want everything to absolutely be that color. And then we also use those high school year curtains with the tassels that has like this minty blue green color to it. I think it's more blue than green, but you know what I'm saying. And then this is one of the hacks that I like to do. There are multiple objects like this that you can clip into that weird arch wall decor object. I never understand why we got that as an object, like on its own, but there are multiple things that you can like clip inside of it or like put another object in it to make it look a little more intentional. So I don't think I've ever put that wall object by itself. I always put something in it. One cheat too that you could do if you don't know how to use that little arch thing is to put wall sconces in it. You could put candles, like wall lights of any sort in it, and it just makes it feel elevated and more intentional in that capacity. So that's another idea if you wanted to try to do something with that. Now I did put a strawberry patch outside, so that's what that ends up being. I just put the garden plots down. I thought that was a cute thing to do. I do actually put strawberry plants in it, so when you download it from the gallery, you should have strawberry plants already there. And I wanted to use this like arched lamp. It is a little bit clunky and doesn't quite fit the way that I'd want it to, but again, it just felt whimsy in a way. And I put the hanging ivy right next to it, and I think it's such a pretty vibe. It's like a mixture of elegant and whimsy. I feel like this build has really like nice pieces, but then also like super weird pieces because you get high school years and pastel pop, but then you get more like secret sanctuaries and dream home decorator and modern luxe type vibes in other areas. So it's an interesting combination. And then we have these pastries that you could put on display. I was like, that would be something Merengue would have in her home, and she would probably welcome people when they come in with tea and scones or something like that. I don't know. I just picture Merengue as being a little bit of a classy lady. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. But it took me forever to clutter these stupid little bookcases because the slots are so weird on that. The objects don't fit well, so I always have to like alt place everything, but we got there eventually. And then I put the like fun candles from Cozy Kitsch as well as Pastel Pop on the end tables in here. And I used the high school years chandelier right there, which I'm trying to figure out which swatch because they all worked really well. And then the little turtle ottoman poof thing is from the Wonderland kit. I have a lot of fun vibes in the minty guest bedroom space, and I always like to like discuss which DLC I'm using, and I talk about this multiple times in my video, so I'm sorry if you've been here a while and you hear me say it all the time, but I generally feel like it helps people, and I've gotten some positive comments. So if it annoys you that I'm saying like every little thing, like this comes from this kit, this comes from this comes from this, we literally have well over 100 DLC for just building. So I try to like help people out, so I'm not getting comments like, what is this object from? What is that from? What is this from? And it's just like natural for me to do that because whenever I'm streaming, it comes up from time to time. So whenever I'm recording these videos, I naturally just say, oh, I use this object from X pack, just because I'm used to doing that over on Twitch. Also, if you would like to follow me over on Twitch, we're almost to 1,000 followers, which is really exciting. Would love to have you join us over on Twitch if you'd like to join in on streams whenever I'm doing these builds. I like to get input as well, so you all get to contribute to the build. And then I obviously like do a lot of big builds over there. So usually whenever you see my content here on YouTube and it's like a live build tour, those are usually really big builds that are more detail oriented and things like that. I don't do speed builds for them because it takes forever, just like the 42 stream long village that I just completed like a month ago. That would be hours even as a speed build. Like that would be crazy. But I do like live build those over on my Twitch. So if you're here on YouTube, you only get to see like the end result, which some of y'all are probably like, that's all I want to see. That's all I care about. Fine. If you want to see the process and like hang out and, you know, have some input, then would love to have you over there. I'm going to get off of that because I've been rambling on about it. But we have this cool little alcove space that I think turned into one of my favorite parts of this house. So as you come up the stairs, this is an area where Merengue and her cat can like relax, hang out, take a nap, maybe read a book. and I put the little window there, put some pillows, and I used a lot of nifty knitting in this space just because that was the vibe with the cottage energy. And I wanted to bring in some like other colors. Like the thing with this build is like it's so much pink and red and white that I was like, I need some other colors here and there. And I think Nifty Knitting has like the right shades and tones of colors and color combinations that worked really well. And then I did use the Enchanted by Nature wall sconces there, and I thought that was just some fun energy and vibes to put there. And it took me forever to figure out curtains for this room. And even though they technically clip into the ceiling, if you look in tab mode, I used these from the Wonderland kit just because they were so whimsy and cute and they matched perfectly with the pink swatch. So that's what I ended up doing. And what made it a little bit challenging was because we had a double window over there by the vanity area. So some of the curtains that I liked for the single window, it was fine, but then when I tried to find a curtain for the double window, I couldn't get combinations that looked really good together because I didn't want a million different curtains in one room. So I ended up doing this and then pulled the just like beigey color curtain for the other one because it matches the same color as the Wonderland kit one. So long explanation for why I did that, but that's why I did that. Now I'm just like cluttering all the shelves in here. We have this pastel pop kit desk over in this space. I'm putting a lot of cute things from like Cozy Gamer. I'm using some Enchanted by Nature, Nifty Knitting. And then we also have all of these shelves over here between the windows and then this table as well that I put some fun clutter on. I put like puzzles, some fun makeup stuff, and I just wanted to picture like Merengue. This is like where she does a lot of her fun activities and getting ready, and put a little cat tree right there by the window next to that table as well. And then of course I had to use some of the hanging plants. These are some of my go-tos. I use these on almost every build. I at least use one hanging plant of some sort, but it just fit the vibes. And I put the little dusty trinkets in the shelves there, and then I put some laundry, and then put the perfume up in the top of the wardrobe here, which a lot of people don't realize stuff actually slots to that. And then I think we're about to get into the bakery. Yeah, we're getting into like just putting some final touches on the bakery. I'd accidentally already cluttered it up a pretty good bit. We filled the display case. Like I said, I went into gameplay and like actually baked things and put them in the display cabinet, which again is not something I usually do too much. I did add some candy and some cotton candy, some of the lollipops in here as well, just for fun vibes. I was picturing this as like a little kids space, like kids could sit down right there. And again, I really wanted to use the strawberry swatch of that because again, we don't have strawberries literally on much of anything else in the game than what I already put in this build. So I had to use them. I had to incorporate it somehow. I could have had Merengue have a kid. Maybe the Minty bedroom could have been a kid's bedroom, but you know, too little too late. Here we are. Merengue didn't have a kid. It's fine. It's fine. But now I'm putting outdoor seating so people can come here, get their baked goods, and then they can sit outside, enjoy their time. And then I actually do end up putting some plates with cupcakes on the tables. I don't know if you saw, but I like pulled some random cupcakes and put them on the ground in the bakery. But I pull those and put them on each table. So every table has like people sitting at them. I just like the storytelling with that there have been customers there. And then now I'm like starting to focus more on the exterior of the house. I put all that tile from Riviera Retreat in, but it wasn't really vibing with me. I liked the fun energy of it, but it just didn't look right. So I found this like pinkish toned stone in the terrain paint, and I was like, I can make this work. And then I end up putting like the small fence line with beds around. I did put them on the front, but I go back and remove it because I'm definitely someone who likes to landscape more freely. I don't like doing flower beds and stuff like that. I like to just feel more natural. So usually I just like to cluster a lot of plants around the home. I used the pink bushes. I put the pink trees. I went back and forth on a couple of options for that because we actually have quite a few. We have a lot of pink trees. So I picked one that was higher up. I didn't want it to like cover up the house. I wanted you to be able to see around the tree. And so I wanted like a small trunk and wanted one where the foliage was like higher up off the ground. So anyways, that's just me overthinking and overanalyzing because I overthink everything. But the name of the game, obviously, as you can see, was pink flowers everywhere. I did put pops of red. I did put ivy also growing on the house because I thought that was a cute vibe. But I put the azalea bushes. This is where I put like the red tree right there. So I just think it ends up balancing pretty well overall. And again, I just wanted it to feel whimsy. I wanted it to feel magical. And I feel like whenever you have landscaping like this, it just feels magical when you first see it. And it's just like, oh, I want to see what's going on in this house. I think the outside definitely it should represent what you're about to walk into. I like to think of it that way anyways whenever I'm doing landscaping, at least more for like fun whimsy builds. I'm an overthinker, so I think it's more fun to have the energy from the outside match the energy of the inside, because if you're like really minimalistic on the inside but your exterior landscaping's like super lush and you have a lot of different plants going on, it's kind of like a shock and a mismatch almost. So it's almost like if you're minimalistic on the inside, maybe stick with a little more minimalistic approach on your landscaping. Whereas since I like to clutter a lot and do a lot on the inside, it's like I like my landscaping to be a little bit extra too. So that's just my energy though. I put another little like tea set area outside. Again, just trying to nod because in the game in Animal Crossing, she has a tea set. So I wanted to make sure that that got across and we have tea. Maybe we have afternoon tea, have someone come over and hang out with us. If I could, I would have used the Tea Time Solarium windows and doors. That would have been super cute on this build, but it just wasn't really matching the cottage energy as much as I would have liked for it to. And I don't really have much left. It's just some landscaping. So let's just go ahead and check out the build. So I built it in Brindleton Bay on this little 20 by 20 lot. So this is the house. As you can see, lots of cute vibes. Like I said, from the outside, I think it gives the energy that we're wanting with it being like fun and whimsy. But put some gnomes in some spaces, have the pretty little sculptures over here. As we come in, lots of things. You can be overly stimulated. I'm sorry if you are. But kitchen's over here on the left. You can see you got some cute vibes going on over there. Living room over here on the right. I just really like how this turned out with the fun energy. I went back and forth. I feel like whenever you come in, the curtain in the very back from Movie Hangout draws your eye, but I feel like it works well because we have the blues on the couch over here, and then this wall art over here has more of a saturated like pink color that works well with the curtain as well, and then of course it also has red in it. So I don't know, I just feel like it pulls a lot of the colors together and it's just fun and whimsy. So this is the whole living space down here. Book areas over here, and then our little half bath is right over here. So like I said, not much to see in here, but it is still cute nonetheless. And then it's not strawberry, but the ladybug made me think of a strawberry, so I did that. And then we have our guest bedroom over here. So this is how that ends up turning out. Lots of minty green going on. Fun pastel pop kit vibes. We'll go outside once we do the tour upstairs, but as you come up here, I did use the lesbian swatch of the Pride collection because it matches the vibes and energy. I put a cat tree here so your cat can lay down right there. This is a little tricky with the alcove because it depends on like which floor you're on. Some of the items like just go away depending on how you're viewing it in tab mode. It's a little tricky, but this is the alcove. I think it's a cute space. I'd love to have something like that to just hang out. Put a chess table, and then we also have the treadmill up here. You're doing a lot of baking and desserts. I'm sure you're gonna eat a lot of them too, so it might be good to stay a little on the healthier side. Put a little fan there too. As we come into Merengue space, we have the vanity area over here, like get ready stuff, and then all of the clutter on the shelves in this area, the little office space, and then we also have the main bedroom space here. So really cute vibes. I love the way it turned out. I think it's fun, whimsy energy in all the right ways. Bathroom right off of that. Simple, fun. And then off of that landing, you also have a balcony here. Put the flower arranging table, put an easel. I use this because it looks like a strawberry as well, so I was trying desperately. And then even though it's not strawberries, it's more grapes for nectar, I just wanted something with fruit over here. So I did that and I put some citrus here too. So just the fruity vibes. And then our back porch space over here. I did use this, which is the Sugar Fizz Passion Fruit Juice Keg. Again, this looked like a strawberry to me, so that's why I did it. It's such a small thing. But I was desperate trying to find strawberry stuff. And then this is a trash can from the Yard Charm kit. I just really love how the hydrangeas look back here too. And then last but not least, getting into the bakery space. Some of y'all might have been yelling at me, go to the bakery. This is what that looks like. So I just like the idea that kids can come in, maybe get some candy, sit down, hang out. Here's our debug baby. That's our meringue debug baby popping out of the meringue pie. So we did berry macaroons. Do you say macaroons or macarons? I'm really curious. We did strawberry jam crumpets. We had the minty mocha cupcakes, lemon bars, carrot cake. We had strawberry cake, and then we also had a matcha tea cake. We had some strawberry fizzy cupcakes, and then I put some red velvet cupcakes over here too, which is really cute. Fruit pie, lemon meringue pie, and then banana cream pie. So if you were curious, I'm not saying you were, but those are the desserts that we put in here. So I put this on the gallery. It is a little over 100,000 simoleons, which is kind of crazy to me to think about. And it does use quite a bit of packs. I will say I like the new UI of the gallery. You can see this a lot more easily, and you can also see like show all the used items, and it'll show you which packs they're from more easily too. So let me know what your thoughts are on this. I do think this was a needed update. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I'd love to hear down in the comments which one you'd like to see me do next. Now, I will say I'm already going to do Tia, but whatever you want me to do after Tia, I'm letting y'all pick one, and then I'm gonna do one that I want to do. I wanted to do chai, y'all chose meringue, I'm choosing Tia. Let me know who's next, okay? And I want to give a shout out to my channel members. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me. And then if you would also like to check out Chai's house, I'll put that over here for you. And with that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Y'all, I'm really liking this series. I think it's turning out pretty cute.